You ever look at some people and wonder how they just seem to win at life? Like everything just falls into place for them, while the rest of us are struggling just to keep up. Well, almost 100 years ago, a book came out that claimed to have all the answers. It reframed life, not as some brutal battle, but as a game with a clear set of rules. Today, we're going to break down that classic, Florence Scovel Shinn's The Game of Life and How to Play It, and find out what those winning strategies really are. So, what is it? Is it just dumb luck? Pure hard work? Or is there like a hidden rulebook that nobody ever gave us? Well, Florence Shinn's whole idea is pretty simple. Life isn't random. Nope, it's a game. And if you don't know the rules, you can't really expect to win, can you? All right, so the very first step, and this one is absolutely crucial, is a total mental shift. Most of us, we're taught to see life as this constant struggle, a battle we have to fight every single day. But what if that's the completely wrong way to look at it? I mean, just look at the difference. On one side, you've got the battle mindset. It's all conflict, fear, feeling limited. It's just draining. But then you flip it to the game mindset. And suddenly, there are rules you can learn, strategies you can use, and yeah, the very real possibility of actually winning. This isn't just playing with words. It's a huge shift from feeling like a victim of your circumstances to being an active player on the field. Now, this isn't about pretending life's challenges don't exist. Not at all. It's about realizing there are these underlying principles always at work, which Shinn calls spiritual law. Think of it like gravity. You don't have to believe in gravity for it to affect you, right? It just works. And if you understand these laws, you can start using them to your advantage. So what's rule number one of the game? Well, it all starts right here, inside your own mind. See, your imagination isn't just for daydreaming about vacations. It's the main tool you use, whether you know it or not, to build your reality. Shinn basically breaks the mind down into three parts. You've got the superconscious. Think of this as the master blueprint for your life, the perfect version. Then there's your conscious mind. That's you, the architect, deciding which part of that blueprint you're going to focus on. But here's the kicker. The real work gets done by the subconscious. It's like the construction crew that builds exactly what the architect tells it to, no questions asked, whether the plans are good or bad. And this is where it gets so important. Your subconscious is this incredibly powerful engine, but it doesn't have a steering wheel of its own. It doesn't judge. It doesn't care if your orders are good for you or bad for you. It just builds whatever you give it, as long as those instructions come with strong feelings and crystal clear mental pictures. Shinn has this brilliant metaphor for it. She calls your imagination the scissors of the mind. Every single day, you're constantly cutting out these mental pictures. And those pictures, they become the blueprints that your subconscious uses to build your reality. So maybe it's a good time to ask, what kind of pictures have you been cutting out lately? And just to show you how powerful this is, Shinn tells this chilling story about a man who became obsessed with a rare disease. He read about it, he feared it, he pictured himself having it constantly, and his subconscious, that faithful servant, delivered exactly what he ordered. His imagination literally created his reality, and, well, the consequences were tragic. Okay, so if your imagination creates the blueprint, what are the building materials? According to Shinn, it's your words and your actions. This brings us to the next big law of the game, one you've probably heard of, karma. Or to put it simply, you reap what you sow. This idea is universal, right? Whatever you send out into the world, whether it's love, hate, criticism, or kindness, it is going to find its way back to you. The universe, it turns out, keeps very good records. Just think of your words and actions like boomerangs. If you throw out a boomerang of criticism, you can bet that criticism is going to come flying right back at you. But here's the amazing part. The same law works for boomerangs of kindness, of support, of success. What you send out is what you get back. Period. And here's a serious warning. Your subconscious has absolutely no sense of humor. Shinn tells this wild story of a woman who was so tired of her responsibilities, she kept joking, "I wish I lived in a trunk." Years later, after losing her home, that's exactly where she ended up. It's a pretty stark reminder that every word you speak is a potential command you're giving to your subconscious. So you've got your imagination and your words lined up. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's the energy that powers the whole thing. Shinn says this is the master key to winning the game: fearless faith. And listen, this isn't about passive wishing or just hoping for the best. Active faith is all about preparation. It's about acting in a way that shows the universe, and more importantly, your own subconscious, that you fully expect your desire to show up. You're building the bridge before you can even see the other side. I mean, think about these examples from the book.
You've got kings digging ditches in the middle of a desert to prepare for a rain that wasn't there, or someone buying new blankets for an apartment they haven't even found yet. These aren't crazy acts. They're powerful signals to your subconscious that you aren't just hoping, you are expected. One of the most amazing stories is about a woman who had only $8 to her name. Instead of panicking, she got this intuitive hunch to just go home. That simple act of faith led her to bump into an old friend, and through that friend, she ended up receiving thousands of dollars. Faith plus following your intuition, that's a winning combo.
And this really shows us who the real enemy is in this whole game. It's fear. But Shinn's insight here is incredible. She says fear isn't the opposite of faith, it's inverted faith. It's using that exact same powerful creative energy to imagine and believe in the worst possible outcome instead of the best one. Okay, so we've got the game board, we know the rules, and we have the right mindset. Now let's put it all together into a clear, simple strategy you can actually use. It really just boils down to these 3 steps. First, you've got to control your vision. Become the guardian at the gate of your mind. Second, use your words to command the reality you want, not to complain about the one you have. And third, act with faith. Start preparing for your success as if it's already a done deal. This idea of non-resistance is like the master move. Instead of fighting a problem and giving it all your energy, you face it without fear, holding on to the vision of what you want. When you do that, you basically starve the problem of all the negative energy it was feeding on, and a lot of the time, it just dissolves.
And that's really the heart of it. The wisdom in this book is just as powerful today as it was a century ago. It leaves all of us with one final and really critical question to ask ourselves. Right now, in this very moment, what game are your thoughts, your words, and your feelings actually playing?